Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I have Megan Shipman, uh, Risa Mei, and Brina Palencia. And today we're here to talk about a wonderful film called Sing a Bit of Harmony. Congratulations on the film, first of all.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Um, it's not every day that I can say that I can watch animation, but this film, it seemed to be the right film for the right time. And with it being released, at the end of the month, I just think that it's such a warm story, and I think it's very timely. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. It's one of those stories where it's like it seems like I like maybe you watch it, you're like, or you hear or you read the summary or something, and you're like, I've watched this movie 1,000 times. But I feel like there's a lot of you can find new things, and I feel like I feel like a lot of movies are kind of the same story over and over again, but this one is really sweet, and it's coming at this time where uh sometimes you might feel really disconnected from your friends or your family or just other people in general, depending on your situation. And so yeah, I think this movie is a good way to feel like connected, I guess, in a weird way. But yeah, it's interesting how it makes you feel connected, and it makes you feel seen, I guess, with the experiences that the characters go through. They're very relatable, and yeah, I just think it's very validating to see people struggle with the same things we struggle with, and so I think it's really nice to just watch that happen on screen.
I think that's the key was is that I think a lot of people are very disconnected due to obvious reasons,
Mm.
and with what we go on here with Shion kind of like bringing back all these people together. I think it's a really nice reminder of, hey, make this phone call or send this text message and kind of take a deep breath and let's reconnect, because there's a lot of good there still, and you see that with this cast, with these students who in the past were fairly close, and then due to different things they came apart. But thanks to Cheyenne and her wonderful voice and her innocence, I would say, really does a great job of bringing them back together. So let's jump right into that. Megan, tell us a little bit about Cheyenne and who she is, because she's a very unique AI.
She's very unique. She's an AI that Satomi, the other character played by the wonderful Risa, that her mom, Satomi's mom, is this really awesome, smart lady that makes like works in a lab and makes cool robots, and she basically creates Shion, and is it's kind of like a big project for her mom. It's a big deal, and Satomi kind of knows this, and so when she sees Shion show up, she's like, "Oh no, this is what my mom's been working on, and if this fails, like it's not gonna go well. Like everything's ruined. My mom's career is ruined. So I have to like." She feels like she has a lot of responsibility, which is kind of interesting for like I feel like a lot of kids and teenagers growing up can relate to Satomi that way, where it's like you feel like, well, I have to make this work. I have to
Mhm.
be responsible. Like they feel like maybe you can't be a kid, you can't have those experiences because you have to be the responsible one. And so I think, with how Shion is and how focused she is on Satomi, it kind of pulls her out of this like you don't have to be the responsible one. Like you're still a kid. You don't have to do all this. You can focus on the things in your life. You don't have to make everything in like your family's life perfect. You can focus on you, and it's okay to focus on you. But she does it in a very bubbly, like, are you happy? Like she always is like checking in with her, like, do you feel good? Are you good? Are you good? like a conscience or something. And I think it's so fun to watch that relationship unfold. Even though it's like this short moment in time where it's like maybe a week in the lives of these kids, but it really is significant in just how Shion makes them think about you, or hey, you both like are really into each other and you just had a miscommunication. Like, are you really gonna throw it all away because you don't want to have a conversation about it? Like, and then it's really interesting to watch how she, in just a very short amount of time, is able to change the perspectives and make these kids realize like very important life lessons, I guess. And so it's really fun. It's like a fun way of teaching those lessons, so it doesn't feel like you're adulting or something. So yeah, it's really sweet.
Risa, do you want to tell us a little bit more about Satomi and her and where we find her in the beginning of the film?
Yeah, absolutely. So Satomi is she's a little bit of a loner. And you know, at the very beginning of the film, it starts with her in her house, and you see how responsible she is. She basically takes care of her entire household, because her mom works full time. You know, researching AIs, building AIs, working on different projects, and so Satomi's kind of an only child and the only other family member. So she's got the bills down. She's got you know, like she's holding down the fort, and then she's also trying to hold her own outside of the fort. And so this is where I feel like a lot of the younger crowd would be able to relate, as they see her and they see this wonderfully young, mature woman,
Mhm.
responsible, super hardworking. And then you see her go into the school, and where she's got pretty much everything together in her household, she doesn't have everything together in school. And so I feel like that's kind of like a lot of us when we were younger, you know, like we um I also grew up in a single parent household, and as the oldest, I also kind of had to help hold down the fort. And I had siblings as well, so I was kind of helping with so many things. And then, you know, going into school, you try to fit in, you're trying to socialize, and everything else in school outside of the home world is falling apart around you. So she's a very, very relatable character, and I think that a lot of the younger crowd will be, like I said, will be able to see her in them.
Absolutely, I definitely agree. So some of the great moments in the film are of course when Shion's able to kind of bring people together, or have them notice certain things about them, and they do this through song, through music. Brina, tell us a little bit about bringing music to this feature, and how if it was difficult, or if it was a little bit easier for you.
Well, yeah, doing the music directing is one of my favorite things to do in the anime world. Sometimes even more than acting, believe it or not. But yeah, um, the songs are so important in this film, and I think what makes it so unique is the fact that she's the only one doing it, and everyone else around her is just sort of reacting like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
But I think it's so it makes her so relatable because the songs are so vulnerable and honest. And you know, there's nothing more vulnerable than just randomly singing for someone. And Shion does it like without any like fear or self-consciousness. And I think that it's that naivete that's sort of like she's just earnest, and she's unapologetic about being earnest. And I don't think that that happens a lot in our culture these days. Like everyone wants to like pretend like they're too cool for school, like they always try to go for sarcasm and like just being funny, instead of just like honestly being like, hey, I care about you, I want you to be happy, what can I do to help you be happy? Like it's just a very like straightforward and like shocking way to be. But it's refreshing. Like I think it's like at first it's like, oh God, but then, you know, even with the singing, when she first sings, everybody's just kind of like, you have to stop that, please stop. But then as it progresses, it's like suddenly it's like, oh my God, you're singing my heart, like this is who I am, and I didn't even see it until you sang it to me. So it's a really beautiful, and just like it's just earnest, like it's just sweet and earnest, and I feel like that's so rare, and it is so needed.
And I think to complement the songs, I really like the way they kind of sometimes let the moment simmer a little bit, and let the characters kind of really let the words, or let the song like sink in, because like right in the beginning, I know that like when they're in the classroom, she sings, everyone's kind of like really apprehensive and like, what is she doing? But like you said, it kind of reaches them. And I think just kudos to the storytelling, and then to being able to put it all together, because you see that, okay, it did have an effect on them. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but this method is working, and I think that's why she's able to do that and reach other characters throughout. We don't have a lot of time, but I really want to know what is your favorite qualities of some of the characters you play. And for Brina, what is one of your favorite characters from? You can pick any of them.
Oh. Oh, my favorite character. Oh, I do love Toma. I love Toma so much.
Great.
He kind of like, it's just very sweet and also has sort of an earnest quality that makes him a bit of an outsider. Yeah, I mean, I like, I'm trying to actively not say Shion because that's what I like worked with the most. But like, yeah, besides Shion, I think it's Toma.
Risa, what is your favorite quality of your character, Satomi?
So my favorite quality of Satomi is how real she is and how raw she is as a person, and how um I I think it was kind of fun to see her fall apart and try to be a kid again, where she's got to hold down the fort, she's got to be this responsible person, and then just to see everything fall apart and then see her have a little bit of fun as the story progresses. I think that was just kind of my favorite part about her, was just to watch her grow into her own.
For you, Megan?
Yeah, I think I love Shion a lot. I loved watching her kind of bring everyone out of their shell, but in this like really crazy, like unexpected way, through song. I kind of want to also say that I have such a soft spot for Thunder, because
Oh yeah.
oh, that poor boy. He's so he was like, I was like, you can't love a robot. Like you can't do it. But no, it's really cute. And watching Thunder, because watching Shion just genuinely want to help people, and watching that, I think that's one of my favorite moments, is because Thunder, she helps she interacts with all the characters, and it's really fun. But I think Thunder is my favorite just because it's so fun, and it's everyone else has kind of got these really serious things to deal with. So I think dealing with Thunder is also like, while he's still important, but I also think it's kind of this fun moment of levity. And then that moment, like it's once you have Thunder's moment and he's like, oh, because Shion helps him with like his judo, because his practice robot like breaks or whatever. So she's like, I'll be your practice robot. And he's like, I can't throw a pretty girl. And she's like, throw me. It's really funny. And then you kind of like, if you pay attention to him like throughout the movie, it's so funny looking at him like watching Shion, because he's like always like, he's like so like enthralled with her, and he's like, oh wow, like, and even it's kind of silly where it's like, oh, does he have a crush on the robot? But it is funny, but also it's like, maybe he's never like had a girl, or realized like, oh, you know what, like I can be me with someone else. It's like you can kind of dive deep. And I think Thunder, while he's like really like fun and lighthearted out of, I think, the whole cast, I think he's just my favorite, because he's just lovable, and I think he's like a cute little dog, and I want to pet him, and I want to put him in my pocket, and I love him. He's so sweet.
We love Thunder.
Yeah, Thunder.
Ladies, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Such a wonderful, heart-filled movie, great soundtrack, wonderful visuals, just a whole total package for everybody to enjoy. And thank you for your time. Thank you for answering my questions, and I hope to see you again in the future.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too.
Bye.